we are sending only 2 villagers to wood. And you can see 18 pop, you drop all the food, you can click up to feudal age on the side of the dungeon, but now, for the time being, oh, I found a weak villager on the wood line. Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we are going to do a scout build order with Sicilians. But this is a special one, because you are not building a barracks. Yes, that's right. You don't need to build a barracks with Sicilians. Now you can build a dungeon and afterwards you build the stable. oSetinhas, you probably are asking, but the barracks you can build while you are going to feudal age. But with the dungeon, it's only available on feudal age. How we are going to overcome that? It's simple. I'm going to do an 18 pop feudal age. Okay, that way we are building the dungeon as soon as possible, and the stable timing it's the 20 pop, a regular 20 pop scout build order. Okay, therefore I want to discuss as well why the dungeon and not a regular barracks. Well, now the dungeon you also can build the spear. Okay, you also can build spears, but you can see here the dungeon only costs 75 wood. Instead, it's 100 wood that you are saving instead of building the barracks. Therefore, you can prioritize our scholar and economic upgrades. The dungeon will protect a key area of your map, and of course if you are playing Arabia, you always want to have a tower sometimes in the game to protect a resource, right? And this is the perfect way of doing those two things while you set up your economy and nice and juicy farms, because the farms also got upgraded. The farms upgrades provide 125% more food. Before it was only 100 and now it's 125. That means instead of giving only 75, you are getting even more food on those farms. So let's see how I do this. So first I start with 6 villagers on ship. That's pretty basic, so you can always have food to produce villagers, and afterwards we are sending only 2 villagers to wood. That's a really important thing, because if you are doing with only 2 villagers, you are going to get more food sooner, and therefore we are going to have the feudal age timing. And keep in mind, always keep the 2 villagers on the same side of the lumber cave. You don't want to have any scout or eagle trying to kill your villagers. Okay, so now, after having these 2 villagers on wood, I get the first elephant. It's a really important one, and now the build order is really simple. You send everything to food. Simple, right? So let's speed up a little bit. As well, that's a really important thing. The 13th villager, you usually build 2 houses, right? But in this build order, we are only building 1 house. And you can see here, I'm going to slow down. You can see here that I need the wood to build a mill. And I really like to have a nice and early mill to get my forage, my fruit bush income. This is one of the slowest food incomes in the game, if not the slowest, okay? Therefore you want to slowly work on getting these berries. Okay, so now let's speed up, because it's the same thing. We are getting everything to food. I only send 4 on berries, since this is a slow income, you don't want to rush that. And you can see 18 pop, you get you drop all the food, you can click up to feudal age, and while you are going up, 5 on wood. So you add 2 villagers on wood, right? You send 3 more. And now, while you are going to feudal age, you need to think, where do I place a dungeon? You need to see what is the exposed area, and I identify probably it's here. You can build everywhere, but remember, it's a keep, it's a tower, right? It's therefore keep in mind, place it the best way possible for you. Okay, and also, it's really important this part. The dungeon takes 1 minute and 30 seconds to be built instead of the regular 50 seconds. Therefore, what I'm doing here is I send 4 villagers to build the dungeon. 4 villagers. So we can have that juicy timing on the scout build order. Okay? You can see here I'm already doing the horse collar. Afterwards I'm... Oi, what's happening here? Oh, I found a weak villager on the wood line. Perfect. Okay, and you can see here the dungeon is almost going to be finished. And we are going to build the stable right here on the side of the dungeon, and this is so perfect. It's actually 20 population. This stable is being built as a normal scout build order. Okay, you can see here I also get double BTEX, and after building the dungeon, don't forget I like to send 8 to wood, and afterwards don't please build a second lumber camp. But now, for the time being, you can see, since I didn't push the deers, I think I only pushed one, I'm already starting on working on those farms. Okay, I pick here tiny villagers, poor boy, and you can see here, now we have all of our scouts going forward. You start doing those juicy farms, you always to have a nice look at this perfection here, farm placement. And now you have your scouts, you can start arresting everything, and this is it. Don't forget, when as soon as you can, after building the dungeon, you want to have a total of 9, 10 on wood. Okay, I always like the number 10 on wood. And you can see here afterwards I build a second lumber camp, because having so many villagers on the same, I don't like it. But you know, during the game you can always do that, and therefore, guys, I really hope this was real helpful for you. So if you like, leave a comment, tell me how this went, and if you like this approach on Sicilians with these new upgrades, and especially with the dungeon unlocking the stable as well. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, you can make a donation, you can buy me a coffee, everything is on the description, and have a nice one. See you guys, bye bye!